In the vast expanse of space, humanity had made its mark. But as Earth grew quieter, a strange message arrived. No one knew its origin. It was a series of pulsating waves, a strange pattern of light and sound. No words, no clear sign of who or what had sent it, but it carried with it something that couldn't be ignored, a sense of urgency. The first few months were filled with confusion. Scientists and military officials scrambled to understand, to decode. But it was clear, whoever or whatever sent it, they were not human. Dr. Emma Hayes, a leading neuroscientist, was one of the first to analyze the waves. They're not just signals. They're feelings, she said, staring at the screen, her voice a mix of disbelief and fascination. The signals weren't words, they were raw emotions, fear, longing, curiosity. And they were directed at Earth. The world was divided. Some saw this as a sign of peace, an opportunity to understand a new species. Others believed it was a trap, a way for an alien race to manipulate humanity. Dr. Hayes, who had spent her life studying the brain and the complex nature of human emotion, was intrigued. The signals, she realized, were an offer, a chance to communicate on a deeper, more profound level. But when the first encounter finally happened, it wasn't what anyone expected. A ship appeared just outside the Earth's atmosphere, not hostile, not threatening. The beings aboard, tall, ethereal, their skin shimmering like liquid light, did not speak in words. Instead, they projected their emotions into the minds of the humans who encountered them. Fear, hope, joy, sorrow, all shared in an instant. It was overwhelming. And terrifying. The aliens introduced themselves as the Eldraxi. Their civilization had reached a level of technology and understanding so advanced, they could share emotions directly. They offered humanity the same, but there was a catch. The more emotion a human shared, the more it could change them. It was not just empathy, it was transformation. And with that transformation came a cost. Emma stood before the Eldraxi leader, a being whose appearance was both human and not, radiating an aura of peace. "We offer you a gift," the leader's voice echoed in her mind. "Empathy. Pure and unfiltered. A chance to understand one another at the deepest level." She hesitated. What they were offering was a dream for many, the ability to truly understand each other, to connect without barriers. But as she reached out mentally, connecting with the Eldraxi, she felt something more than just their emotions. A sense of loss, a deep, unsettling loneliness that came with the gift. And as she stepped back, she realized that this was not just about shared emotion, it was about something far more dangerous. The ability to influence the very nature of a person. The world was on edge as governments debated whether or not to accept the offer. There were those who saw the potential for peace, for unifying humanity. But others feared the consequences. If humanity could truly feel another's emotions, if they could be influenced so easily, what would stop the Eldraxi from taking control? As the days passed, the impact of the Eldraxi's offer began to ripple through society. People volunteered for the empathy exchange, hoping to experience something transcendent. But not all of them returned the same. Some came back with altered personalities, kinder, softer, more open. Others, however, came back as mere shadows of themselves. They were unable to separate their own feelings from the emotions they had shared, losing a part of who they were. Dr. Hayes, now working directly with the government's task force, was tasked with investigating the changes. She couldn't deny that the empathy exchange held incredible potential. There were reports of people from opposing sides of conflicts, rivals, enemies, connecting on a deep emotional level and resolving years of bitterness. But she couldn't ignore the darker side. People were changing in unpredictable ways. Some had no memories of their previous selves. Others became numb, detached, as if the raw emotions had overwhelmed their sense of self. The world began to divide even more. Countries were torn between embracing the gift and rejecting it. And in the midst of the chaos, a new faction emerged. A group calling themselves the Resistance, led by a charismatic man named Kale, preached that the Eldraxi were manipulating humanity, using the gift of empathy to control and dominate. They claimed the emotions weren't just shared, they were absorbed, feeding into the Eldraxi's own collective consciousness. Emma found herself torn. She had always believed in the power of connection, in the potential of empathy. But as she delved deeper into the science of it, she discovered something chilling. The Eldraxi weren't just giving a gift, they were harvesting emotions, feeding on the energy created by human interactions. The more humanity shared, the more the Eldraxi grew in power. They were not benevolent visitors, they were predators. But the truth was even more terrifying. The Eldraxi were on the brink of extinction. They had evolved so far that they could no longer experience emotions on their own. Their species had reached a point where their emotional capacity was limited, and they needed the emotional energy of others to survive. They had come to Earth not out of kindness, but out of desperation. The empathy protocol was their last hope. As the world teetered on the edge of war, Emma made a choice. She couldn't let humanity become a food source for the Eldraxi, but she also couldn't ignore the potential for peace, for connection. The answer, she realized, lay in balance. But first, she had to expose the truth. The resistance was growing stronger. Kale's followers, fueled by anger and fear, had begun sabotaging the Eldraxi's communication channels. Tensions between nations reached a boiling point. The Eldraxi, sensing the rising hostility, sent a warning to Earth: accept the empathy protocol or face the consequences. Emma knew the time had come. She had to act fast. She had discovered a way to sever the Eldraxi's connection to humanity's emotions without destroying the entire exchange. It wasn't just a matter of stopping the Eldraxi, it was a matter of saving humanity from being consumed. The world's leaders convened for one final meeting. Tensions were high. The Eldraxi demanded their empathy exchange be accepted, or they would withdraw, leaving humanity to face a slow, agonizing extinction as they bled out without emotional connection. But Emma stood before them and made a bold decision. She revealed everything, the truth about the Eldraxi's desperation, their manipulation, and their ability to feed on emotions. In a tense moment of silence, the leaders of Earth were faced with a choice: reject the Eldraxi and risk everything, or embrace the empathy protocol and face the consequences. The resolution was not one of war or domination. It was one of compromise. The empathy exchange would continue, but humanity would not give itself up completely. The process would be monitored, regulated, and balanced. Humans could share their emotions, but they would not be absorbed. The Eldraxi, in exchange, would help humanity evolve, but not at the cost of their humanity. As the treaty was signed, Emma looked at the stars. Humanity had walked a fine line, balancing trust and caution, hope and fear. The empathy protocol had changed everything, but in the end, it was humanity's ability to choose that defined its future. The story explores the power and dangers of empathy and emotional connection. It raises important questions about the ethics of sharing emotions and the potential for exploitation. While empathy can unite and heal, it also exposes vulnerabilities. The balance between open communication and self-preservation is crucial. The story suggests that while connection is vital, it must be managed with caution to avoid manipulation or loss of identity. The ability to choose what to share and when is central to maintaining personal autonomy, even in the face of overwhelming external forces.